Hello and welcome to my mini series Breeding for Minimum Wage. Okay, so today I'll be talking about startup costs. So when you're setting up a breeding tank, especially one where you're kind of breeding relatively easy species, it's really important not to go expensive. Because when you're setting something up at the start, lots of things can go wrong. You could have all your stock get really sick, or if you're a beginner, you might not know how to use the equipment properly, and it's better to set up something relatively cheap and then kind of build from there. So this setup cost me around €100. It was about €50 for the tank itself, 20 for the heater, €10 for a sponge filter and a really kind of crappy air pump, and about €20 for the shrimp, which is my kind of starting stock. Now when you're setting up your breeding project, I'd recommend that you start out with second-hand equipment. You don't need fancy stuff, especially to keep these species. So always kind of go for second-hand stuff. There's always tanks and bits and bobs and heaters going up online. So see if you can find some kind of community hub and try buy from there. And often, people will give you advice and stuff when they're selling to you. I think it's really important to use sponge filters. They're probably the simplest kind of filter. They harbor a lot of beneficial bacteria, and most importantly, when your stock do begin to breed, like cherry shrimp and your guppies start to have fry, the fry don't get sucked into sponge filters. So they're really important to have in your breeding tank. Also, with your stock, start out with cheap stock, especially if your tank hasn't been cycled yet. You want to see how things go and develop, so you need to start out with cheap stock. It's no point in kind of starting out with the most expensive fish that you can buy, only to have your tank crash a week later. So if you're interested in my series and you like my video, hit the subscribe button and give it a like. Catch you later.